while since we did a discussion.
Indubitably.
So, yeah. Now, you're probably wondering what discussion we're going to have. Now, this one has been have me and Nico talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go back to September 27th of this year at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor.
Mm-hmm.
We had the match between Roosh versus Matt Taven. Great match. Great how it turned out. And I was hoping he becomes the champion.
Was this also
Rush.
the same week of Battle of Los Angeles?
No, a week after.
A week after. Okay.
Yeah. So, Rush became the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hours after the match, CMLL, Consejo Mundial Lucha Libre, announced the dismissal of Rush and Dragon Lee. Now, the official story by their partner saying the reason of their dismissal was because that they violated company and programming guidelines. Now, I was a bit of a shock to hear from this. But there's a old saying, and you probably heard it too. There's always two sides in the same coin of every story.
Yeah.
We heard CML's side of the story. But Rush gave a story that kind of got my attention. Now, let's go back in time on this, what led to this to happen. This took place in July 6th of this year. CMLL has suffered a fatal blow with the passing of Paco Alonso, but his real name is Francisco Alonso Luthroth. He is the Salvador Luthroth's grandson, who is the founder of Consejo Mundial, but at the time it was known as Empresa Mexicana Lucha Libre. Now, Rush explained much about this. He said, for 11 years he has displayed his loyalty to Paco Alonso. Reason is, he was the genius behind the company from 1987 to now. And Rush said that he had great opportunities with him. He learned a lot of great things about him. And he always displayed his loyalty to him. Now, when word got out about Paco Alonso's passing, Rush talked to his daughter, Sofia. He told her that he will display his loyalty to her like he did to her father. And of course, many of us as fans would have assumed Sofia would take over as the head of the company. But it turned out it didn't go exactly the way it should have been. Sofia was next in line to take control. But in fact, it was her cousin who took over. Chavo Luthroth III. Now, Rush, Dragon Lee has always been the two wrestlers that were, carrying the flag representing CMLL anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter if it's here in the States, or in Japan, Canada, Europe, or the UK. But out of those times, from the time when Paco Alonso passed to the time when Rush and Dragon Lee were fired, they put them to the side. Their loyalty no longer mattered at all. And for Rush, he felt like he was being disrespected. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, a week prior, before this whole thing happened, Dragon Lee decided to participate at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Battle of Los Angeles, which is the annual tournament that these guys always throw. CMLL told Dragon Lee that he's not allowed to go. Dragon Lee, instead of saying, okay, I won't go, he decided to go. He did it. And a week later, he was excluded out from the 86th anniversary of the company's, they've been active. And to Rush, that was like a big disrespectful to him, towards his little brother. And of course, this is becoming like a big feud now between the two sides, between CML and Rush and his family. And after we found out that Rush and Dragon Lee were fired, their father, Bestia del Ring, decided to resign his position with the company. Now, CML hasn't made any decisions yet about saying, oh, they fired him, or that he just officially did resign like he said he did. They haven't made any announcement about that. But Rush made a clear warning that if they decide to disrespect his other brother, Mystico, who was the original Dragon Lee, then he has no problem. Then he has no problem to leave CMLL and join his brother and father. I mean, Nico, what do you think of the whole thing?
This is all news to me, so I really haven't been keeping up on this. I have all the questions. Honestly, it's like what I don't really have any answers.
So, what's the questions you want to know?
Well, my big thing is where this. My thing is where what does it say for Rush and Dragon Lee? Will they be continuing business with New Japan? Will they be? Well, obviously Rush will be continuing business with ROH. He's the current ROH champion.
Mm-hmm.
Does this open the door for possibilities with AEW or MLW or even NWA?
Well, I did know before Rush became Ring of Honor, he did make an appearance at MLW. But it was a very short stint.
Right.
Because he was making appearances at Ring of Honor. And I know WWE had their sights on Rush, but he was warned by his former Ingobernable brother.
Yes.
You guys know him, Andrade Sin Almas, but back then he was known as La Sombra.
Yeah.
He warned him in a cryptic Twitter message saying things are not exactly what it appears. So that kind of gave Rush the perspective not to go.
Right.
And I'm sure Rush probably felt like, okay, if WWE is not the place to go, then he can go somewhere else. I mean, he does have options.
Yeah.
But I do know he does have a contract with Ring of Honor.
Right.
I still don't know how long he has it. But I do see he can make appearances at New Japan. But the only issue is I don't think he's allowed to use the name Ingobernable.
Ah.
You know what I mean? Because that's basically something that he created with his other, with former members, with, of course, Andrade Sin Almas and La Máscara.
Right.
So I'm not sure if he's able to use the name or add another name to it like they do with Los Ingorbernables de Japón. You know, he could probably use that part of the name but add something to it. You know, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But as for Dragon Lee, I do know he makes more appearances in the independent scenes. I mean, like I said, he did show up in Baja Stars USA before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not but I do know he can go to New Japan because he loves going to Japan.
Right.
And not to mention his participation with, what was it? With the Best of the Super Juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Makes him a star up there. I mean, he could possibly go to New Japan maybe full time if he wanted to. Not to mention, I'll never forget the photo he had with Tanahashi, Taguchi, and I forgot who else. Oh yeah, and Kushida. If you saw, there was a picture of Taguchi doing like one of those blackboards, like you know they do in football.
Yeah.
And he's like telling the Dragon Lee like this play, and he's like, "Huh? What are you talking about?"
Right.
But yeah, he's more. I think he's more of the side of Taguchi Japan. You know, because he does have a strong relationship with those guys.
Oh, he's more of a face, anyways.
Yeah. So we can see Dragon Lee going to New Japan.
Yeah.
You know, since he can try to work out a deal saying, okay, I'm not going to participate whatever you guys have with CMLL after what they did to me.
Right.
He can do that. And of course, New Japan has no problem giving him that.
Like, would you say with with Rush winning being the new ROH champion and Dragon Lee being this year's Battle of Los Angeles winner, do you think it was a good loss? I mean, a good risk, I should say.
Well,
go ahead and do it anyways?
here's the thing: is put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
You put your loyalty to this company because you were grateful for what they've done.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here comes a new guy who decides, I don't care about your loyalty anymore. I just all this and that. I have to say, Chavo Luthor III made the biggest mistake of his life, because I do compare the Luthor family as the McMahon family of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't know what goes on in that head of Chavo's head.
Right.
You know, like, did he had a different agenda than Sofia Alonso? Because Sofia Alonso, from what I understand, she was willing to follow the same pattern that her father did. You know? Because here's what you don't know about Paco.
Mm-hmm.
Paco is more of the hands-off type of person.
Right.
He lets other people do his job for him. Like the booking, the matches, all of that.
He has well placed people.
Exactly. So that's what Sophia wanted to do. Wanted to use the same kind of method that her father did. It made it worked throughout the years when he was running the company. But I don't know exactly what Chavo's, say, methods are.
Right.
That led to Rush and Dragon Lee to fall out of favor. Because if you can tell, the Mexican fans are diehard fans of those two.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I can say it is their loss.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if there's a power struggle amongst the family. But I can say this. Rush, Dragon Lee, and their dad Bestia, they'll be fine. Rush said that there's many opportunities for he and his brother and his dad. And he's not wrong. But as for CMLL, I don't know what direction is going to go now with Chavo in charge.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things I can say. But as for Rush, we know he's the ROH champion, and I'm sure he has drawn a lot of good fans.
Oh, yeah. Easily. And not just that, like you said earlier, like, in my opinion, about like firing really good talent, I think promotions should like ease off of that whole power hungry state of mind, because right now it's the time of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, the wrestlers have so many opportunity to take their talents elsewhere.
Sophia did say that she appreciated Rush's loyalty, not only to her father but to her. But if I was Sophia, leave the company and form your own promotion, and get Rush, the one person who showed loyalty to you and your dad.
Yeah.
It's a much simpler that way. Because here's the thing: there's a thing about Paco you don't know. Paco does have grudges with certain wrestlers in the Mexican world. These are wrestlers that he felt that betrayed him, and those wrestlers, I'm going to give a short list: is Conan, Octagon, and Hijo de Santo. Those are the guys that kind of he has grudges with. And of course he had a grudge against Antonio Peña, who is the founder of AAA. Reason is, Antonio Peña was more of, I want to find newer, younger wrestlers, while one of Paco's bookers at the time was trying to keep things traditional. So basically, Paco, he may have been a genius, but he felt like there's certain things he wants to continue on as the same. Now, I'm not saying CML has been a bad company. It's been a good one.
Yeah.
But I think the only issue going on, like we've been seeing with WWE, is the person in charge.
Yeah.
Rush has always, like you said, he displayed his loyalty. I mean, how many wrestlers in WWE you heard that they had their loyalty with WWE and then they fell out of favor? Same thing with CML. We have wrestlers that displayed their loyalty and then they put to the side.
It happens.
But this is not a loss to CMLL. This is a loss to Chavo Lutheroth.
Mm-hmm.
You just lost two of your best star wrestlers. One who's a heel, one who's a face.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're brothers. This is his loss. If he would have continued what Paco Alonso saw in him, then maybe things will go great. But we don't know yet what his motives are, what his agenda is, what he's bringing to the table. But as for Rush, we do know where he's going to go.
Right.
We do know he has opportunities. He can, let's say he can be in Ring of Honor for 5 years, that's all we know. He can move from Mexico to the U.S.,
mm-hmm.
Because he is learning to speak English, from what I understand. And as for Dragon Lee, we can say he can go to New Japan full time if he wanted to. But we just got to wait and see what his plans are. Because you and I, we can say we'll follow these guys wherever they go.
Pretty much.
It doesn't matter if they go whatever promotion. We always be one of those diehard fans that follow these guys. But as far as I know, this was a terrible feud from that started last July. And this should not have happened. But, like I said, this is Chavo's lost. But for Rush, this is only just the beginning. He will succeed in the wrestling world. And I hope Chavo Lutheroth III is watching. I want him to look on Twitter or anywhere on the internet. I want him to say to himself what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do to push this guy that Paco Alonso, my uncle, made him a star? I would want him to admit that he made a mistake.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I don't know how the fans down in Mexico are feeling at this point. I don't know if they're feeling upset that, Chavo Lutheroth got rid of him. But they should have questioned their loyalty from the start when he took over. Sophia didn't need to question it. They already displayed it to her. And they were willing to display it regardless, but it didn't happen their way.
Mm.
So, like I said, we'll just follow what Rush and Dragon Lee are going to do. It's, right now, like I said, it's their beginning. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. If Dragon Lee decides he's going to go back and forth between New Japan and Ring of Honor, I'm cool with that too. And as for Bestia, he's going to give it maybe one more year or so until he retires. Because he gave great opportunities for his sons to become great wrestlers.
Right.
And as for the other brother, Mystico, like Rush said, he knows his brother. He has no doubt in his mind if Chavo Lutheroth III decide to disrespect, he'll join them.
Right.
Because family is more important. So we just got to wait and see what's going to happen now. But I am going to follow what CMLL is going to do now that they lost two of their top talent. And of course, we're going to follow what Rush is now, his new role as the new champion of Ring of Honor. And Rush, Dragon Lee, what his plans are for the future. So if you guys like what we talked about, or if there's any more questions that you still don't know yet about what's going on between these two, you can leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as possible. So we'll see you guys next time, and hope we'll see you guys the next episode. So see you all later.